Alrighty. Hey, Ika. Perfect. Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another playthrough of Prince of Persia, The Last Crown. Potentially the last playthrough, and I think it will be the last playthrough. Because we guys are at the final boss fight of the game, as far as I know. I was practicing the fight yesterday, and I actually beat him by accident. But before I got too far, I turned off the game. I went back to main menu, went back to the walk tree, and we're back here. So we're good. We're playing. We're still able to do the main boss fight. You didn't miss it. I hope. I'm pretty sure. So got the main boss fight. Let me get over there, and then I will show you guys what we're working with and what the strategy is. Okay, so this is where it is. This is what we're working with. We got our Void Braid. Got great damage and moderately reduced for the amount of time it takes to actually be able to use the Void Blade ability again. We have this on. This increases the attack damage of our after surges, which is pretty darn important in this case because in my practice run I noticed just how much more damage my after surges did with this equipped, and it is crazy, so that's gonna be helpful. This one allows for my melee attack power to increase in damage when I have full health. Now, I don't have full health a good chunk of this fight, but it's not that important. I actually might replace this with I wonder if I should change that to the arrows. Of course, I didn't use my arrows much. I'm not gonna worry about it. And then I also have my blessing, increases health. With bread allows me to get after build up from damage taken. Our parrying, this is very important because there are a couple of times where you are able to parry homie. So that slows them down, gives you more time to calibrate yourself, whatever. So it helps a lot. And this one allows for after build up for each successful attack. So what we're dealing with is Vahram in like a god phase form. He does some stuff and he looked like this giant god thing, but crazy enough, his moveset actually isn't that complicated. The hard thing about him is the fact that he has 4 phases, I'm pretty sure, and each phase gets harder and harder. But for the absolute last phase, they give you like some crazy ability, and you're moving, and Sargon is moving like a lot faster and stuff like that. So it's actually not that complicated. Main thing I'm concerned about is the game shutting down, because yesterday, for the first time, the game shut down on me while I was practicing the fight against Vahram. So I am concerned about that. What I'm gonna do is maybe I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do to lower the game quality, and maybe that will help it run a bit better. It's too low. Subtitles. Okay, let's try that out. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I really hope it didn't shut down on me. But yeah. So I'm not gonna talk too much while I'm doing the fight. We're just gonna do it. So hope y'all enjoy it.
Vahram,
My father gave you the key to the palace, didn't he? Then you can enter the Hall of Divination, ready to face me, the older me, who's lost control.
you've seen your older self.
I just know he's there, and I don't want to be like him, Sargon. You're still my friend, are you? There has to be a way to save him.
I'll find a way. I didn't give up on you, and I won't give up on him.
Yes.
I've lost too much to trust the Simorg again. I can't believe in such a cruel god anymore.
The heart of the Simorg.
With our powers combined as one, imagine all the good we could do for humankind.
Vahram, no human is meant to wield such power.
I am no mere mortal. I am the first immortal. Sargon, you must understand. The Simorg's power showed me the future. I saw our kingdom engulfed in flames, our people suffering for nothing, Persia vanishing, corrupted from within. We can stop it, Sargon. We can build a world free of deceit, lies, human weaknesses. Help me save Persia. Give me your powers.
No.
I am time and space. I am creation. And I will create a new, perfect empire.
Vahram! Vahram, no!
You should have joined me instead, Sargon.
Vahram destroyed everything. Mount Carve, Persepolis. There is nothing left. No immortals. No one. Only the void remains. Mighty Simorg, you were the one gifting me life time and time again. Why did you choose me rather than the others? I'm not sure I understand. They are always with me. I can't defeat them. What if it's too late? I don't exist anymore. I couldn't stop Vahram. can still save him.
Main quest, crossroads time.
Be the first to witness the birth of a new world, Sargon.
Vahram, time and space.
Vahram, you are mistaken. The world you have in mind cannot exist.
I am the one and only, the creator. A new world is not up for debate. It manifests itself for all.
Here we go.
Cannot defeat a god, Sargon.
I can't join you either.
Dang it, why are my parries not working?
Perfect empire waits. Efforts are futile. This is my secret. resisting the inevitable.
No, this is my path. This is the only way.
In the name of creation.
Dang. Alright, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I kept messing up my parries.
Witness my true strength. See a world reborn.
I'm skipping.
Efforts are a world reborn.
Ugh. I know how to do that, but I'm just too far off from it.
This is my sacred duty.
This is not going as well as yesterday at all. Dang, I'm gonna die again, man. That's crazy. Yeah. This is going nowhere near as well as yesterday. I was killing it yesterday. I don't know what it is, man.
Power and purpose. In the name of creation.
Whoops. Oh,
Perfect empire awaits.
I need to get out of there. I didn't fast enough.
I am equal to God. Witness my true strength.
Dang, man. I guess I got it on my third try. I'm not timing it right. I wasn't timing it right. I know how to do it. I know how. I just need to do it. I don't know what it was about yesterday. I was killing it yesterday.
This is my sacred gift. Perfect empire awaits. Purpose. Efforts of world reborn.
Ugh. Oh, fudge. I messed that up. Good time. Dang. I'm getting my butt handed to me right now. I know exactly what I'm doing, though. Okay.
Witness my true strength.
It's kind of hard to avoid that.
In the name of creation.
There we go. Okay. Damn, he's out of range. I never had to deal with that before because I always got him.
You will give me what's mine. It's over.
No. I'm here to save you from yourself.
Ah! Okay.
Well discerned, my lord Skyward.
True warrior needs no weapon.
It's your actions that matter.
Then I wish to be where we mortals are friends again.
Defeat the God Prince. The crossroads of time complete.
You were right, Sargon. The Smorg's powers were never ours.
It is the end.
May you bring the seeds of hope to all in Persia.
Vahram, no! Here is Prince Hassan. The Immortals have succeeded.
History will remember you. May our paths cross again.
Your Majesty.
Not anymore.
Sargon, you brought back the Simorg, a triumph worthy of a king.
I need no praise. My blades served the crown, but in Mount Kaf, they were bloodied with the truth. Orod, Menelaus, Rajin, Anahita, Vahram. All dead now.
A small price to pay to secure my bloodline.
"30 years ago, King Darius was murdered. I'll let you confess that story.
Sargon?
There's something she's not telling us. What, King Darius?
Sargon!
For the people!
Wait. Huh? Wow. That was really good. That was really fun. Oh my gosh. Why is it so slow when it's normal speed? But the music, the boss fights, the mechanics, the story, everything about it is just great. And I love the fact that they taught you a bit about Persian history and all that, while also just having just a really good game. It's great. And Gareth Cocker, who's the composer for the music in this one, he did the music for Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. So he's fantastic. But the fact that he was able to bring about this Persian sound despite not being that, Gareth Cocker is freaking genius. This is phenomenal. Okay, so let's think about, I'm trying to do a similar thing as I did with Bloodstain. Really like the mechanics. I like the fact that they were very smooth, they were very quick, you were able to keep pace with your enemies. I like the fact that they added in the parry ability, and that a parry was actually more helpful to you than just allowing you to avoid getting hit. As a matter of fact, it also allowed you to build up your after surges and your after meter, so that you can start planning out your next attack and build up enough Athra so that you can use your surges. So that was really cool. Trying to think. I like that they slowly but surely compounded on the weapons you can use. So like it became that, oh, you have your swords, and then oh, now you have your bow and arrow, and like, oh, now you have your chakram or whatever it's called. So that was pretty cool, having a mixture of both short range weapons, your swords, and then your long range weapons, your arrows and your chakram. So that was really helpful, really cool. I like the variety in that. I really like the amulets and the concept behind them. They have a similar thing in other Metroidvanias like Hollow Knight and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I think Ori and the Will of the Wisp is probably the first game I played that had that whole type of mechanic where just like, oh, if you put on this particular like, I'm not sure what they called it in Ori and the Will of the Wisp, but you can equip and unequip certain abilities to cater to whatever situation you're working with. So it's kind of like the vast variety of weapons they had in Bloodstain, but I think it was done a bit better in this one because there aren't anywhere near as much amulets in this one as there were weapons in Bloodstain. So it didn't feel like overkill. With Bloodstain, I feel like with the amount of weapons they gave you, there is no way I'm going to end up finding use for every single one of those weapons. But I feel like with this one, I could find use with every single one of the amulets. Though I didn't use every one of the amulets, every amulet definitely had a place and definitely could be used depending on the situation you're dealing with. The same cannot be said for the wide variety of weapons they gave you in Bloodstain. I think a lot of those are just for funsies, just like, I wanted it, so why not? The same cannot be said for the amulets in this one. Like, each one definitely has a place depending on what your goal is. So that was really cool. I love that about that. Let's see what else. So that was cool. I guess we can go into boss fights. Boss fights were really good. I really liked the music composed by Mendrix. That's not true. Don't you lie to me. Oh, maybe that's like the program they use. I know Gareth Cocker did this music. Give me a minute. Prince of Persia, Lost Crown. Maybe he did it with a team. Goodness, my phone. Okay, it's Mentrix and Gareth Cocker. That's what it is. He did it together. Still, he did a great job. Yeah, he worked with a team. That's what it is. Anyway, boss fights. Those are really cool. That final boss fight is that was pretty cool. I had a great time with it. I love the fact that for the last fight, they added in a variety of different aspects from other boss fights that you had to remember. For example, I feel like they put in a lot of the attributes of Kiana's boss fight into this one, with the whole swooping of Vahram, and if you do it right, you can parry it and get a good hit in. I think they had something similar in the Kiana boss fight, only I don't think that was a parryable attack. I like that they made it parryable in the final boss fight, but it wasn't in the Kiana boss fight. So that was a cool little callback. And then also the whole making the little fake versions of him, and they slam down and attack you like that spear type thing. They had a similar thing in the Kiana boss fight, so that was cool too. I'm trying to think what other. I don't think they really added in any other attributes from the other boss fights into this one. Maybe my games, I don't know. I feel like that would have been smart and really cool. But for the most part, I feel like the only boss fights they really did callbacks to were the second Vahram boss fight, the Kiana boss fight, and somewhat of the Azdaha boss fight with the fireballs that he was launching at you. What you could do technically is do the void attack, so that you can create like a portal and take one of the fireballs and you can launch it at him. So that's an option, but you could just parry the fireballs, so you don't have to do all that work. But that is one thing you could have done. I do like that they're giving you that last new ability with the slingshot type thing, where you can spring something out and you can launch up towards those little blue circle triangle things. I do like how they added that being necessary in the final boss fight. I feel like if they didn't, it would have been a waste of a mechanic. So I'm glad they added it in to the two final boss fights, in the King Darius boss fight and this one. So that was really cool. My favorite boss fight. Okay, well, before I get into favorite, the hardest boss fight, in my opinion, was against Vahram's second phase. And that might just be because I did not level up as well as I needed to. And I had taken a bit of a break with playing the game, so it could be that I was just lacking in skill. So going straight from not playing the game for a while to now having to do this complicated boss fight, that may have been why it was so hard. But I feel like it would have been the same had I just kept playing it anyway and didn't stop playing Prince of Persia for a little while. Because it's a hard fight. I think Vahram, he moves the fastest in his second fight when you go up against him. He is nowhere near as fast, even his god phase, in the final boss fight. So In my opinion, I think Vahram boss fight is definitely the hardest. Close contender is Menelaus, and that's literally just because of those annoying like star things he'll conjure up that block you and hurt you if you touch him. That was so frustrating. I got the most angry dealing with Menelaus, but Vahram was skill wise the most complex, I think. It took me longer to deal with Menelaus, but again, skill wise, Vahram was much more complicated. I feel like the Vahram boss fight is a more fair fight compared to Menelaus. Menelaus is just, he was so annoying, so frustrating, and I think there are some attributes to that fight that is just unfair, because again, you get this little wall of things that can hurt you if you just touch him, and on top of that, he's doing his unblockable arrow shot at you. So Menelaus was definitely difficult to deal with, but the thing is, he's nowhere near as fast, and it was just annoying of a fight. Whereas with Vahram, not only did he do crazy damage, but he was good at it. He was fast, and the fact that he has that time manipulation BS, that was a tough fight, I will say. So yeah, definitely got more angry with Menelaus, but Vahram, I think, in concept, is a much harder fight, but is more fair compared to Menelaus. Yeah, actually, now I think about it, is Menelaus harder? Menelaus might be harder. Because one thing about Vahram's second boss fight is that a good bit of his abilities and moves were parryable. And I think that was the biggest issue with dealing with Menelaus. A lot of his things weren't parryable. So you couldn't build up your Author Surge. He kept moving around this giant arena, so you couldn't really get hits in to help build up your Author Surge and all that stuff. At least with Vahram, I found it pretty easy to build up my Author gauge for the most part. And yes, his moves were annoying, but they were very manageable and fair. Menelaus was just, I think I take it back. I think Menelaus is actually the hardest one. I do. Because there were a lot of his moves were not parryable. He would do unparable attacks while also having the arena covered in these things that can hurt you. It was hard to build up your Author gauge. And to top it all off, he did crazy damage. So I take it back. Menelaus is harder. He's probably the hardest boss fight, in my opinion. Next to Vahram is probably Menelaus, then Vahram. After that is probably Orod, and then probably the final boss fight. The final boss fight actually isn't that complicated. It's on par with the Kiana boss fight, crazily enough, but still really fun. If I had to say what my favorite boss fight was, it might be the final boss. I really like the different phases. I like the fact that they added in attributes of previous boss fights into this one. It just looked really cool, and you felt like a bad bee fighting this guy. It's a fun fight, man. I want to do it again, kinda. Like, it is a really fun fight. It's fair. I like the fact they added in so many chances for you to get parries in. His moveset was complex, but not so complex that you would just die over and over and over again because the dude's doing too much. I feel like they kind of dumbed him down compared to the second time you dealt with Vahram. So I think my favorite is Vahram final boss fight. It's just a really cool fight. It was fun to do. So yeah, so the hardest boss fight in my opinion is Mount Elias, and the funnest boss fight is the final boss fight. So that's boss fights. I already really talked about the music. Again, it's really good. It's beautiful. I think I'll probably be listening to that soundtrack today. I just love all the instruments, the vocalizations. It really beautifully added to the ambiance, and I really appreciated that each of the boss fights that you dealt with, each of the areas you went to, had completely different music, so that you can go back, listen to the music of this game, and you can be like, oh, I remember when this song played, I was fighting this guy when it was going. It helps with the nostalgia, it helps with the ambiance, and gets you really into it. It's great. Also, on my issues with Bloodstained, they didn't do, like, they had different music for each of the different areas, but I don't think they had different music for each of the boss fights, and the music for some of the boss fights was like just really annoying and bad. So I prefer the music of this one a lot more. So that's music. Animation was great. It might just be because I had my quality down pretty low, but I feel that the quality kind of plummeted, particularly during the last couple of scenes of the game. But I'm not that picky when it comes to animation quality. I can just look at pixels and be a happy girl. But animation was really nice. I liked all the colors. I can't really say too much about animation. Like, I'm not picky when it comes to animation typically. So it was good in my opinion. I liked it. Trying to think of a game that looks similar to this animation, because one thing I noticed about it is that it's very, I don't know how to describe it, clay, like kind of, like it feels like it seems squishy. I'm not sure how to describe it. It seems soft. I guess that's a good way to put it. It looks very soft. And I feel like I've seen other games that have like that type of look to it, but I can't really think of anything. But I liked it. I feel like it worked with the world and everything. Yeah, I can't say too much about animation because again, I'm not really picky about that, and that's not really one of the biggest things I focus on when I play a game. The biggest things I focus on when I play a game are mechanics, story, and like, I guess those are probably the biggest things, story and mechanics, yeah. So I don't try to think too much about animation sometimes. I'm trying to think what else. So talked about the music, talked about the boss fight, talked about the mechanics. I think that's about it. So if I had to give it a general rating, I would say it gets a solid, I'm trying to think like what's wrong with it. One thing I will say is wrong with it is that I kind of touched on this. Menela's boss fight a bit unfair, just a bit. With a lot of the other boss fights you dealt with, they had a decent amount of parable attacks, so as to allow you to build up your after gauge and give you the chance to get some hits in. the mentalized boss fight didn't have a lot of that, making it unnecessarily complicated. And there are a couple of other enemies you go against that kind of have that same issue. For example, those giant boar. Maybe just me, maybe there's a way to deal with them without having to be gouged in the gut, but I still haven't been able to find a reliable way to deal with a giant boar without losing a bunch of health. So I think that's probably one thing. Some very few of them. If I had to find something to complain about, some of the fights, boss fights and enemies you dealt with were a bit unfair, in my opinion. Or maybe it's just me and being a bad gamer. I don't know. That's also possible. What else? What could be wrong with it? I can't. There are a few things I can think of that is wrong with this game. I mean, it's probably not, I wouldn't say a perfect game, but like, I can't really think unless anything besides that. What I already mentioned, that some of the enemies are just a little bit unfair. Just little. So, that being said, I think I'm gonna grade it like a 9 out of 10. And it only loses a point because of the unfairness, the occasional unfairness. That's it. So we have now completed the 2 Metroidvanias, Bloodstained Ritual Night and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And so Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is definitely, in my opinion, a much better Metroidvania. I think it's better formatted. The game speed is much better, in my opinion. The boss fights are way better. Requires a whole lot more skill, more thought, more management and knowledge of your abilities, of your resources, etc., compared to what you had in Bloodstained. The map is more interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, just overall, just a much better game. So I have now played, I think, about 5 Metroidvanias: Hollow Knight, Bloodstained, Ori, Blind Forest, Ori Will of the Wisps, this one, Strider. So that's 6. I've played 6 Metroidvanias and maybe more. I think, because my favorite used to be Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This might top that one. Okay, I take it back. It doesn't. Ori and the Will of the Wisps has better animation, in my opinion. I really like the animation in Ori and the Will of the Wisps. But boss fights, mechanics, they're pretty comparable. Like, this is a good contender for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, in my opinion. They're both really, really good. Very well done. So I had a great time with this. This is definitely a much better game compared to Bloodstained. If you're looking for a good Metroidvania to get into that, you know, challenges you, looks good, has great music, and is a lot of fun, I feel like this is a good recommendation. And I'll even say a good starting point if you're trying to get into the Metroidvania genre, because again, one of the biggest parts about Metroidvanias is exploration. But sometimes you don't want to explore. Sometimes you just want to do the game. So that's why I really like the fact that in this one they gave you the option to turn on guided or to turn off guided. It really gave you the ability to just, if you just want to walk around and do what you want, then you can turn it off. But if you want to do what the game tells you to do, you can turn it on. So the fact that you had that option was great. I love that. So yeah, if you want to get into the Metroidvania world, this is it. Because I don't think you had that guided option in the War in the Will-O-Wisp. It was just I think they just had it on always. You didn't have to do what the game told you to do. But I think they didn't give you the option to turn off the guided or not. So this was a really good time. It took me a while to finish it, but nowhere near as long as Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight took me forever. I used to think that was my longest playthrough, but I think now I think Nier Automata has topped that one. So Nier Automata, I think, is my longest playthrough. I think that one has like 43 videos. Let me see. I'm curious now. Yeah, Nier Automata has 41 videos. And then Hollow Knight has 33. Yeah, Nier is my longest playthrough. And has some of my longest videos. I think I have a video in there that's like almost 3 hours. Maybe a bit over. I played that game for a while. But yeah, those are our 2 Metroidvanias. So let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. Bloodstained Ritual Knight or Prince of Persia The Lost Crown. You already know my opinions on it. I like this one a lot better. This was just overall just a better game in my opinion. So now we get to start thinking about what we're going to do next. I have bought a lot of games in the last couple of months, some of which are horror games, and then I got a couple of other ones that I'm interested in. So I would do 2 separate polls. One poll is going to be of horror games that y'all can pick from, and another poll will be just like random ones that look interesting but aren't horror related and are not Metroidvanias. We're going to be avoiding Metroidvanias for a little bit. I think the ones on the horror list, I'm gonna see the long credits. What should we skip them? Oh yeah, Ubisoft likes doing that. I think they do a similar thing in Assassin's Creed. You can't skip the credits. So annoying. But let's see. I think the horror option will be 9 Charles Street, Ad Infinitum, Dead Space, three of them. Need another one more. Maybe The Case of Benedict Fox? Maybe? I'll have to look through. It's definitely going to be, the ones on the list would definitely be Ad Infinitum. Oh my gosh, what is it? Ad Infinitum. 9 Charles Street, and the Dead Space. That's definitely going on the list. I'll look through it. And then the ones that are going to be on the other poll, it might be a To the Moon game. I might buy that. Uncharted AC, like Assassin's Creed, and maybe Ninja Gaiden. I'll look through. Oh yeah, Parasite Fly, that's the other one. That's the other horror one I wanted to do. But I looked through. I got a lot of games we can run through. So we are not drying up on games, believe me. I have plenty I can play. Let's hope the credits almost over. I will like turn it off now and see if I can get through a bit more of a haiku episode before I gotta go to work. I don't think anything happens after the credits are over, but I really don't know. So I want to make sure before I decide to just turn it off. I don't know what it is with Ubisoft. Make sure you look at the credits. They hate. I guess they hate you skipping the credits. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Sargon.
Don't worry. I'll take good care of Vahram.
And he leaves. Many thanks for playing. You can load your save file to continue your exploration on Mount Koth and complete unresolved mysteries. The boss rush mode is now unlocked with Artaban. And that's it. There we go. And that... Let me see. Let me upload. And that is Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. As I said, there's still a little bit you can do in the world, but those are just little side things you can do for yourself. They're not too interesting for a playthrough. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know I had a fun time with this. Sorry it took so long. I think it took, well, let's see how long this one took. This one took longer than Bloodstained because the game is harder. Let's see. I did a live stream 3 months ago on March 16th. It is June 25th. So it took me a while to run through this game. But again, it's a harder game. It takes a lot more skill, it takes a lot more time. There's a lot of like XP building you have to do sometimes in order to get through certain areas. So it took me a while, and in spite of that, I had a fun time with it. So I hope you guys had a fun time with it too. Look forward to the next set of games we'll be doing. It'll be 2 at a time again. And yeah. So thank you for coming with me on this journey. Hope you guys had a fun time with it, and I'll catch you on the next set of videos. Bye-bye.